I'm Lisa Whalen from Frost & Sullivan, and I'm here on day one of the North American International Auto Show, here with my colleague Vishwas Shankar, and thought we'd give some perspectives so far in the day. So Vishwas, what are some of your key perspectives that you've observed so far?
Definitely, Lisa. It's interesting to see that this year we have about 30 plus models versus last year's 40 plus models that were displayed at the show. We have about 30 OEMs that have kind of started to show their launches and announcements of models. We are almost midway through today's presentations, where about 12 OEMs have shown more than 20 models, including the American OEMs as well as the German OEMs.
Yeah, interesting. I thought in terms of the American OEMs, we saw a lot of broad coverage in terms of segments. And what we noticed was that they didn't seem to play into each other's swim lanes too much. We had Chrysler looking at minivans with sort of the reinvention of the minivan segment with the Pacifica. Then we looked at GM, more focusing on the B and C segment vehicles with respect to the Cruise, as well as, of course, the Bolt that was announced last year and now is production ready with an all-new EV architecture, which is quite exciting. And then we moved over to Ford, and then we saw the Raptor, and of course talk of the Fusion and various SUVs. So it was quite interesting that we did see a broad coverage of the segments, but not too much overlap amongst the big three.
I agree with you. It's been interesting from a Ford perspective, but also from the German OEMs or from a luxury market perspective. We've seen the likes of BMW, which is in its 100th year this year. They're going to kick off their celebrations starting March. And also the likes of Mercedes, Benz, and also the likes of Audi, that they have shown that, yes, including Volvo, that they have shown that they wanted to kind of bring about refreshes or all new models within the flagship segment or in the top of the line segments. We've also seen some performance branding from the likes of BMW coming out with their M2 and the M2 Coupe and the X4 badging, which is also in the M badging. So it's interesting that performance club with flagship vehicles are coming from the Germans as well. So yeah, it's pretty much an even mix between the mass market and the luxury OEMs. Yeah. Also, one point I would like to touch upon is not all OEMs have participated at the show. Some of them have decided to bow out of the show, like likes of Mini. So the others within the group are trying to pitch in for what these guys would have done, these OEMs would have done at this particular show this year.
Yeah, that's interesting. So Vishwas, what do you think about autonomous driving? Do you find it to be maybe a tipping point in terms of the announcements that are taking place around the show?
Yeah, I agree with you with respect to where we call autonomous or automated driving, or in terms of piloted driving. A lot of these OEMs at this show, as well as at the recently concluded CES, have shown that probably 2016 is the tipping year in terms of how technology would kind of take a rapid progression towards autonomous driving. With a lot of them include the likes of Renault and Nissan that have mentioned that about 10 vehicles of autonomous capability will be on the road by 2020.
Yeah, quite interesting, very exciting for sure.
I agree. I hope I get to drive sometime soon one of these cars, or maybe these cars will drive me sometime soon.
I hope so. I can't wait for that personally.
Thank you, Lisa.